clicking buy while your heart is racing, you're not trading, you're reacting. The 1% already know this, which is why they're patient while you're busy. They don't ask if the setup looks good. They ask if they are stable enough to touch it. And if you're making decisions while emotional, it doesn't matter how good your strategy is. You've already lost. If you recognize yourself in this, you need to keep listening. If your heart races before you click buy, if one loss throws you off your game, if you hesitate on clean setups and then chase the move after it's gone, this video is for you. If you've spent hours learning strategies but can't execute them consistently, if your emotions hijack your trades even though you know better, that's not bad luck or bad charts. That's a trading psychology problem. And until you're willing to confront it, no strategy, indicator, or new system will save you. Consistency beats intensity. Improve 1% every day. Dr. O. Pro traders understand something most people never stop to learn. The market doesn't defeat traders. Unregulated emotions do. They know that every decision made while anxious, desperate, or reactive quietly sabotages even the best strategy. While others obsess over entries and indicators, pros obsess over their internal state because they've learned that clarity comes before consistency and regulation comes before profit. They don't wait for the market to calm down. They calm themselves first. That single shift changes everything, turning trading from an emotional battleground into a disciplined, repeatable process where confidence is built from self-control, not hope. Most traders never learn this truth, not because it's complicated, but because a few hidden barriers keep them stuck in the same loop. If you've ever wondered why insight doesn't translate into consistency, these are the barriers quietly blocking the lesson. Barrier number 1. You mistake emotional activation for urgency. When the market moves fast, your body reacts even faster. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing shortens, and suddenly everything feels time sensitive. In that state, you tell yourself you have to act now or you'll miss out on the opportunity. But that urgency isn't coming from the chart. It's coming from your nervous system. Pro traders recognize this feeling as a warning sign, not a green light. Most people don't, so they keep trading while activated and never realize that regulation, not speed, is the real edge. Barrier number 2, you keep searching for information instead of learning self-control. After losses, many traders respond by studying harder. New indicators, new videos, new strategies. It feels productive, but it's actually avoidance. Instead of addressing why emotions took over, you distract yourself with more knowledge. Pro traders don't confuse learning with growth. They know that without emotional discipline, more information only creates more confusion. Most traders never slow down long enough to learn this distinction. Barrier number 3, you attach your self-worth to the outcome of each trade. When wins feel like validation and losses feel like failure, trading becomes emotionally dangerous. Every decision carries the weight of proving yourself right, capable, or worthy. In that mindset, stepping away when emotional feels impossible. You need the next trade to fix how you feel. Pro traders separate identity from performance. Most traders don't, and that attachment keeps them locked in reactive behavior. Barrier number 4, You believe discipline means pushing through discomfort instead of respecting it. Many traders think discipline is forcing themselves to trade despite fear or stress. So they override their intuition, ignore their emotional state, and call it being strong. Pro traders do the opposite. They know discipline includes restraint, knowing when not to trade. Most people never learn this because they equate rest and pause with weakness, when in reality, they're signs of mastery. So before we talk about charts, strategies, or execution, we have to address the real reason most people never trade like professionals. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's not discipline, and it's definitely not access to information. The difference lies in how elite traders relate to uncertainty, pressure, and themselves. To understand that difference, we have to move layer by layer, starting with the body, then the mind, then the weight of lived experience, and finally, the foundation of trust. Most people assume trading is a test of intelligence, when in reality, it is a test of regulation. Your body evolved to respond instantly to threats, not to sit calmly in uncertainty. So when price moves quickly or a loss appears, your nervous system treats it like danger. You feel urgency, tension, and the need to act immediately. This isn't a flaw, it's biology doing what it was designed to do. The problem arises when you mistake that activation for a cue that you need to trade. Elite traders learn to slow the process down before making decisions. They don't override their body, they listen to it. If they feel activated, they pause, not because they're afraid, but because they understand that clarity cannot exist in a stressed system. Over time, they train their nervous system through repetition, structure, and small risk, teaching the body that uncertainty does not equal fear. This is how calm becomes a skill instead of a personality trait. Once you understand that your reactions are rooted in biology, not weakness, something important happens. The self-criticism softens. And when it does, you finally look at the patterns your mind has built on top of those bodily responses. This is where psychology enters the picture, shaping how fear turns into habits, beliefs, and repeated decisions. Many traders are unknowingly trying to eliminate doubt rather than learn to live with it. They search for strategies that feel clean, confirmations that feel reassuring, and signals that remove ambiguity. But markets don't offer certainty, they offer possibilities.
Pause. No, seriously, pause for 1 second. If you're watching this right now, it probably means one of two things. You're either trying to make sense of the market, or the market just humbled you a little today. Well, first, thank you for being here and watching this channel. That means more than you probably realize. Because trading can feel incredibly lonely. 1 minute you're confident, the next minute price reverses, and you're staring at the screen thinking, what just happened? You study the charts, you watch the videos, you try to follow the rules, but somehow the market still finds a way to hit your stop, shake your confidence, and make you question whether you even belong here. And let me tell you something very clearly. You are not crazy, and you are not the only one experiencing this. Most traders aren't failing because they're lazy. They're failing because they're navigating chaos without structure. They're guessing, they're chasing, they're reacting to price instead of preparing for it. That frustration you feel when price moves exactly where you expected after you close your trade. Yeah, we've all been there. That's exactly why I built this community, a place where traders can stop guessing and start trading with clarity, structure, and confidence. Inside our free community, I share the exact SPY levels I'm watching for the next trading day, the same level institutions are paying attention to. Support resistance. Key areas where decisions actually happen. No fluff, no noise. Just structure that helps you approach the market with freedom and clarity instead of fear and confusion. So if you're serious about becoming a better trader, join our free community using the link in the description. Grab tomorrow's SPY levels, introduce yourself, and let me personally welcome you inside. You don't have to figure this out alone anymore. And if this video helped you even a little, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the community.
When you demand certainty, hesitation and second guessing are inevitable. The emotional whiplash then that follows isn't random. It's the result of expecting the impossible. Professionals shift their focus inward. Instead of asking whether the trade will work, they ask whether they can follow their process regardless of outcome. This quiet change builds trust over time, not because every trade wins, but because they prove to themselves that they can act consistently under pressure. Confidence grows from follow-through, not from being right. And once self-trust is in place, uncertainty stops feeling threatening. But these patterns don't form in isolation. The way you respond to risk, mistakes, and uncertainty was shaped long before you ever traded. To fully understand why losses feel so heavy and hesitation feels so costly, we have to acknowledge the cultural context many traders carry into the market. For many Black traders, losses carry more than financial weight. They touch deep narratives around scarcity, responsibility, and the consequences of being wrong. When mistakes have historically come with harsher penalties, the fear of error becomes ingrained early. Trading then feels less like a learning environment and more like a test you can't afford to fail. That pressure alone is heavy, but it's often compounded by another lesson many of us were taught growing up. Don't show emotion. From a young age, many Black families and communities emphasize emotional control as a survival strategy. Feelings are often minimized, dismissed, or suppressed because vulnerability hasn't always been safe. While this emotional restraint can be protective in hostile environments, it becomes harmful in trading. Suppressed emotions don't disappear. They surface as hesitation, overtrading, shutdown, or impulsive behavior. When emotions are ignored rather than processed, they drive decisions from the background, making regulation practically impossible. The internal shift begins when you give yourself permission to feel without judgment. Trading requires emotional awareness, not emotional silence. Losses, fear, frustration, and doubt need to be acknowledged so they can be regulated. Otherwise, they leak into behavior unconsciously. When you allow emotions to exist without treating them as weakness, clarity increases. In doing so, you're not just improving your trading, you're rewriting a narrative that taught you survival meant suppression. That permission to feel and learn is what creates space for consistency, confidence, and long-term growth. But once that pressure is acknowledged and released, a deeper question naturally follows. Where do you place your trust when outcomes are uncertain? Culture explains the weight you carry. Psychology explains the patterns you repeat. But faith addresses what holds you instead when control is no longer possible. At its core, trading exposes how much we want certainty before we act. We want assurance before risk, clarity before commitment, and guarantees before movement. But faith has never operated that way. Faith is preparation followed by action, without control over the result. When trading challenges that, it reveals where trust has been replaced with fear-driven control. Seasoned traders learn to release what they cannot manage. They prepare diligently, execute responsibly, and let go of outcomes. Losses no longer feel like abandonment or failure. They become part of refinement. In this space, trading transforms from a constant battle into a disciplined practice of trust. Peace replaces urgency, patience replaces pressure, and consistency grows not from force, but from alignment. What you're experiencing in trading is not random, and it's not a personal failure. It's the natural outcome of operating in an environment that demands emotional regulation, self-trust, and patience. Skills most of us were never taught. The fact that you're still here, still learning, still willing to look inward tells me you're closer to consistency than you think. You don't need to silence your emotions to succeed. You need to understand them. Suppressed fear doesn't disappear, it just shows up as hesitation, impulsive clicks, or abandoning your plan. When you allow yourself to feel without judgment, you gain the power to choose your response instead of being driven by it. Trading becomes lighter when you stop treating every decision like a test of your worth. Losses don't mean you're behind. They mean you're participating. And participation with structure and awareness is how mastery is built. Confidence grows quietly through repetition, not through perfection. You are allowed to learn at your own pace. You are allowed to make mistakes without punishment. And you are allowed to build skill without carrying the weight of proving yourself to anyone. When survival pressure lifts, curiosity returns, and curiosity is where growth lives. The most powerful shift happens when you move from fighting yourself to partnering with yourself. When your body, mind, history, and faith are aligned, clarity settles in. Decisions feel steadier. The noise fades, and consistency finally has room to take hold. The work isn't about becoming fearless. It's about becoming regulated, present, and intentional. That's what professional traders understand, and it's a skill you can develop with the right tools and support. If you want to explore these concepts more deeply, I've created a YouTube resource guide linked in the description. It's there to help you reflect, apply, and continue this journey with clarity and compassion. Take your time with it. Let it support you. And remember, you're not behind, you're becoming. We're not trading for ourselves. We're trading for the families watching us, learning from us, and depending on us. Comment to add your voice. Like this episode to strengthen the signal. And share it so another Black family gets access to the same tools you just received. You've got this. Peace and blessings, Dr. O.